Morning guys, it's October 6, 2022, 5 seconds before the market opens, and I have still 3 monitors here actively looking at pins. This had gap up significantly and just giving us this I'm waiting for an opening range breakout. These are my levels here. So looking at pins as well as Piton. Piton is not really moving. Mara, not a lot of volume, 500,000 shares only. AMD is trading like a SPY. SPY is like an inside bar today. Shell, this one significantly had a gap down, low volume still, and this one is low volume. BP, low volume, and Okta still has low volume. So I am looking at pins and checking if a setup will form. So this one, my pre-market high is at 26.23 and pre-market low is at 25.52. We're at in the middle right now. So what I'm gonna do is turn off my pre-market data so it will be clear. My pre-market data is still on my 15 minutes chart, and when this one is in the middle, it's not really giving us an opportunity for an opening range breakout, because an opening range breakout would or should be close to this line right here. So it's in the middle. So what I'll do is let it decide what it wants to do, because otherwise if you go in the middle you will just get chopped with that move. This is the low float of the day, not shortable though, and it already have that move from 4.5 to 6.5 at the pre-market, so it's due for a pullback. Let's see what Mara is doing. Mara is really strong, had that broke of R3 pivot level were good, but I missed my entry there. So now I'm just looking at pins. 2 million shares. Doji right here at the 2 minutes. What is Piton doing? Nothing. Mara. This one is a good gap up list or a gappers list. SPY as well. Looks like SPY's having a bounce, and the reason why AMD is having that bounce as well. So this can be a range bound. This is the pivot point, where this pivot point right here is inside, so it can pretty much just bounce off of R3. So is showing some signs of weakness, but I don't trust it yet that this is gonna go down, because it had come up significantly, 5.2% at the open. So I'm long bias on this, but considering that it did touch that R3 and fail to break the R3, so still has a lot of volume in the ask side, so that's very bullish. 6.10. is the next destination for this. Not a lot of volume though, so considering that, I will take some partials and move my stop loss to break even. The reason why I took some partial there is because the volume is dying as well. So this can be a false breakout. But ideally, I would like it to test VWAP. But since this is a low float stocks, it actually just have 3.7 million. So tight stop loss. is gonna get me stop out. And yeah, this got me stop out, and that's the reason why you have to have your stop loss. It just flush. Okay, so for the rest of my trade, this is the next trade that I did, TQQ. This is the derivative of QQQ. So it's long QQQ. It is trending along with QQQ. The short here is the SQQ. So with that, 3 stocks that I'm in, well, first is BEAT, which I already closed my position. Pins got me into red, and TQQ, which again is a derivative. It follows the QQQ, and algos basically are 3 times of that QQQ. So that's why it's a very powerful tool to trade this as a day trader. So just switching my trading view here, I have to fast forward it to just save time. So with Q and pins, I already have that unrealized of 320 around 280 pins. It's still up and down, just $8 there, but it took a while for TQQ to really move on the direction that I predicted. I was trading very small position today, and at the same time having the SPY into consideration. So TQQ is trading like a SPY because this is part of those derivative that is taking the NASDAQ 100, which is heavy on the technology. So the top 100 large cap in the US. So for here, took a while for this stock to form, but eventually went to my favor. I am playing it based on a pivot point, so S3 bounce, and sure enough it did. So went long at that bounce of S3, and looking at level 2 as well as the tape, there's not a lot of indecision there, and that's the reason why it's on that consolidation. So once that resistance line of 22.28 broke, then we headed to the VWAP, which is my partial was moving my stop loss to break even or above the break even, so I don't turn this one into a losing trade. And this is almost about to get stop out there, and yes, got me stop out. Now I'm looking at pins. I entered pins prematurely earlier, but now that we get to see the short winning or the bears winning, so now I entered SQQ, which is the opposite or the short of TQQ. And with SQQ, it did get me step out at first. And looking at the SPY, if there's a pullback in the SPY, then it's good to go long the SQQ, which is the short of, again, the TQQ. So re-entered pins, and this time I have 3,600 shares. My average cost is 25.62. This one is the moving average play. Not a lot of volume, as you can see in the 5 minutes chart, but it did get that a little bit of a bounce off of that 90 MA. So I took my first partial, moving my stop loss, and got me stop out. So that get me into the greens in pins. SQQ, I re-entered it again at that bounce of the VWAP in the 5 minutes as well as in the 2 minutes. So tight stop loss, I got 1,800 shares with average cost of 52.06. So both the bid and the ask side does not have a lot of an equal volume, so that's why we are heading to that consolidation. But I do have that stop loss right there just in case it does not work in my favor. So I re-entered this one at that bounce of the pre-market or the yesterday's closing price. So after we entered this one with 1,800 shares, I do have the average cost of 52.06. Still consolidating. This one took a while to work out as well. So this one, 52.06, 52.03, acting as a strong resistance still. But as soon as that strong resistance was broken, then this one got a push up to pass through that VWAP. So this consolidation took a while, but when this broke 52.1716, then we were able to see that pop. 52.3 is the next destination, and that's where I took my shares out. So looking at SQQ, trying to see if it's gonna give me any more entry, and it did get that push pass through yesterday's close. So I re-entered over there at the 9 EMA, moving my stop loss to break even to protect profit. And this one is just a very quick trade, a scalp trade added to my position. So now I have 1,750 shares at the average cost of 51.6, and it just got me step out. So that is the trade that I did for today. It is day 5 of COVID, so still voice is not back yet, but hopefully tomorrow will be a better day. Still applied a more smaller position than usual. This one is my last SQQ trade, which is 1,350 shares. Another bounce from that yesterday's closing price, and another scalp trade. This and that's pretty much it. Got me all step out. So I hope you have a great trading day, and I'll see you tomorrow.